viewers. And thank you so much for your continued engagement in this series to explore how to overcome your fear of visibility and the costs of staying hidden. That's really what we are going to address in today's session. You know, with social media today and algorithms, what you're being fed on social media is what you already believe. And when you stay hidden, when you stay in your small world, hidden behind the computer, your world is not expanding to other places very easily. And the danger to that is you don't expand your mind, you don't expand your life, and there is such transformative power in community. And I want to acknowledge you because you are here. I mean, you're watching this, whether it's on social media or not. But if you're here, this is going to be something that is going to really support you in expanding your mind in different ways. So this is number 4 in our series of 5. If you have not watched any of the other sessions in our journey to overcome the fear of visibility, just a brief recap. The session number 1 was introduction and identifying the challenge of coming out of visibility, particularly in these days. We embarked on the journey addressing that burning desire that so many, and I think most people are having, particularly middle-aged professional women, to show up and to share their voices. Yet there's that common obstacle, the fear of visibility. What will happen? And we began laying the foundation to understand the challenges you face, and then set the foundation and the stage for the transformative content that continued. You'll find all of this below the email. We have the links there. Session number 2 was understanding the fear of visibility and diving deeper into the roots of the fear of visibility. And that's a really powerful session. They're about 10 minutes, they're very short. But I asked some critical questions about your specific triggers, your past experiences that created self-limiting beliefs, and looking at how the past is contributing to this fear now. And when we understand those underlying factors, it's really crucial for being able to move forward and for the plan that we're crafting, kind of a little map that we're crafting to help you regain the confidence and to embrace your visibility. And then in session 3, we explored strategies to conquer your fear. I love that one. That one was so powerful. Each one is building upon the next. So go back and look. We shifted gears to actionable strategies that you can take, exploring how you can build your self-confidence and self-worth. We tackled the imposter syndrome, and then embracing your unique strengths and talents. And these aren't just concepts, but they're are really practical steps that you can take to find the strength to step out of your comfort zone and to confidently share your voice. So in today's session, I want to address the cost of your staying hidden. I started to address it right off the top, but they're emotional and they're professional and personal cost to remaining, hidden in the shadows, either behind your screen or behind your doors. First of all, there's stagnation to your personal growth. There's missed opportunities for your professional advancement, or if you're in a space where you're not sure what's next for you, it's missed opportunities with meeting other people and things that just get triggered and that open up when you meet new people in new situations. the impact on your mental health and your self-esteem. And I last night last night when I was just speaking right now of missed opportunities for advancement, I went to this, it was like pop up Vietnamese. I found it on in a Facebook group, actually, in the East Algarve expat uh, Facebook group. This Vietnamese woman and her husband, her parents just moved from Vietnam. They never lived anywhere else. In fact, her father was a pilot for the South, with the Americans. So after the war, after the Vietnam War, he was able to get out, get on a boat and leave, but he didn't, because his brother came as he was getting on the boat and said, "Well, you're leaving us behind." There was no internet, and he ended up staying at great cost to himself. And now he moved to Portugal to be with his daughter and his grandchildren, and doesn't speak a word of any other language other than Vietnamese. And it was so inspiring to meet them. And I had a few friends who decided to, come with me, and we had such a journey of getting lost on the road to get there. It was really a journey, really a journey. But the reason I'm sharing the story now is just when I was saying, when you don't come out, when you don't gather, come out of those shadows, um, you don't get the opportunity to get the inspiration and the empowerment. Because hearing that story was so empowering. And the food was wonderful. And it's how they're making their way. She's giving an opportunity for her parents who cook, and her father is like, everything in that meal came from the garden. They grow everything. And we like drove an hour to get there, on these country roads. It was a journey to get there. And my phone went down, and we had a lot of challenges to get there. But the costs had, like, at some point we thought, do we need to go back because the phone died? And I was with two other people who I don't know, and we each had different ways of dealing with the stress of not knowing where you're going, which brings me to the second segment. I want to talk about the price of playing small, because there are consequences to it. When you play small, you don't fully express your talents, you don't fully express your capabilities. And last night in that drive, it was hard for me because one of the people was a front seat driver, and it was driving me nuts. It was hard. First of all, it was kind of hard to see. I'm in a rental car right now, and it was kind of hard to see the Google Maps, and the battery was really low, and they're used to dealing with Waze, or they like to see everything. And I have a way that I'm at ease when I'm driving, and I'm in a different place, and just part just wanted to scream or just go home and not deal with it at all. But there's such a consequence of that, because it limits your impact on the world. You don't fulfill your potential. That dream would have been dashed, and it was so much fun once we got there. And like, had I reacted to that, acted upon that, it really would have strained the relationship, because it was stressed in the car. It really was. 10% is what happens. We have no control over that. 90% is how we respond to it. And the front seat driver this morning, like, so my phone died. And I didn't want to use their phones. It was crazy making for a few minutes there because the third person, he had another phone but wasn't tech savvy and the battery was low, and the other one had a phone, had two phones, one Portuguese and one for the US. uh, I think at that point, we don't know each other. So you know how you're on your good behavior with people, and then the caca hits the fan, and pew. Now, um, had I reacted out of my knee-jerk reaction that was coming out, there is no way that I would have uh, gotten to the place nor been able to have a nice evening. I just would have been stressed the whole time. And neither would they, which brings me to the third segment, the silent toll of not expressing yourself. Okay, so in that moment, what do you do? Right? What do you do? Um, my second knee-jerk reaction was, it was so uncomfortable for me to feel so uncomfortable, but I was driving and then we were on the highway, and where do you stop? And this one's reacting in their autopilot and that one's reacting in their autopilot. And we were really late and other people were waiting for us. I guess they, like the people come and they prepare the food for you. And we didn't know where we were going. It was all very, very unknown. And my second knee-jerk reaction was to be really polite. Oh no, I miss spiritual. I miss have it all together. But I didn't have it together. I felt really, really uncomfortable. And so I really could see that if I stayed silent, or that if I didn't say anything, we weren't getting there because they didn't know where it was. I was the only one who had the experience of using, they said coordinates. There was no, it's in like the middle of nowhere. So there was no address with streets, it's country road. And the stress and the frustration of not expressing myself and trying to people please, just even in my attitude, just really felt how forceful it was. Do you know that? When, like, let me know if you can relate to this. Put it in the comment section below. Like, when those things happen that you don't have control over, that get triggered, yeah, you like respond in learned behaviors, not in your authenticity, right? And that diminishes your true identity. And then the frustration inside grows even more, right? Can you relate to this? The stress inside, oh God. And then the impact on that is you can't really connect, and you're stressed and your satisfaction goes, down the drain. And what I found myself doing yesterday was uh, being really direct, like, because the uh, the person wanted to help, but it was causing more stress to me. And so I dared to ask for silence so that I could really focus on the road and just focus for a moment and practice a few of these tools, which they had they don't know anything about what I do for work. Or so and the what happened through that brings me to the fourth segment of this installment, the the transition that happens. It was I felt so vulnerable. You know what the hardest part was? It's like when you show up, right? Isn't one of the reasons we're not visible is you're afraid that if you speak your truth and if you're authentic, that you're going to be attacked or criticized. I'm hearing that from clients in our community, like from every single direction. No, I'm not showing up because things are so divisive. And you guys have asked me about the war in the Middle East. I've lived through 4 wars. What do I think? And if you saw my video from, I think, last month, when it first came out, I said, my thoughts, I don't have thoughts. I have thoughts, but I don't engage in them because I end up in war with myself, right? Isn't it? You show up and it's not the other people that scare us, it's ourselves. It's like after I spoke, it was so uncomfortable for me. How come you said that? How could you? It wasn't my idea, whatever my ego thinks how I should be showing up, like Miss Zen Buddha. have no response, have no reactions. It's bullooey. Of course I have reactions. It's the in the moment, how are you responding to what is coming up? That is the power. And the power of community is just so helpful for that, because the positive impact that happens in coming together fosters a sense of belonging, provides mutual encouragement. Because you know what happened? I it was how I responded to my internal response that made all the difference in the world. And then I didn't have a phone anymore. And the front seat driver got their phone running. I said, you know what? How about if you become the navigator? And it ended up being such a great thing. It relieved stress from me because I had help. It relieved stress from them because they were actively engaged with something. It brought up their nervousness in navigation. And they even said, God, this is, really, I can't believe how calm it is in here. And the person sitting in the back seat was like, wow, well, this is a real ride. And we ended up, the three of us, we had the best time because we rode through, literally and figuratively, we rode through, and surfed through the waves, and the tsunami together. And it was like the best evening, and we got there and the people who had been waiting for us, and we sat down and it was an amazing evening. And then we heard the story and we met the parents, and it was very unique and it was delicious. And um, this morning, and recounting this right now, it's like I feel so grateful, so satisfied, and when you do that, you get such a sense of satisfaction, and you provide one another with encouragement. Like, one of the people this morning said, thank you so much for that amazing evening, and I could write back and acknowledge them saying, thank you so much for your wonderful navigation. And, it's win-win-win all the way around. I feel closer, I feel more connected rather than less connected. And you can feel more connected and less connected. The costs when you don't allow yourself to meet that combustion, where you stay in the safe place, that's the kiss of death. Remember, you stay in the shadows, and and yeah, you get to be in social media as if you're with the world, but it's bullooey. You're just seeing your version. And the value is coming out of your seclusion and daring to express yourself. And yeah, it's messy. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect, but expecting things to be perfect is part of that internal dialogue that's just cancerous. It's divisive. First of all, it's divisive to ourselves, and then it's divisive outside. So I want to invite you to begin to come out of your isolation by commenting below on the video, or come into, if you're watching this in our Healing Voices community, you're part of our community already, write something, ask a question. You're not going to die. And I'm not going to criticize you. You're the one criticizing you. If you feel moved, but you don't respond, oh, I'd like to, but, right? That's already self-criticism. And I promise you, write something, you're going to get constructive, positive, supportive response. And that's going to be empowering to you. You know, this this video today, it's aiming to create a compelling argument, you know, with a real life story, fresh off the boat, you know, like within 12 hours ago, with less than 24 hours ago, around the cost of hiding or playing small or being politically correct and not expressing your authentic self, and emphasizing the importance of community in overcoming these challenges, because we are all facing them. There's not a human being alive. And I really want to inspire you to recognize that value of connection and take that next step on your journey. Like right now, just even write, hi, you're gonna die? No. So let's hear from you. And then in the next segment, it will support you, because in the next segment, I'm going to really, you're going to love this. I'm going to provide you with an opportunity really to come out of your hiding, be visible in a really safe way. Not going to cost you anything, except it will cost you. It will cost you your smallness. It'll cost you your fear. It'll cost you your staying small and your self-judgment. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Stay tuned. You will find out. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Take care.